Your pineal gland is not broken. It has been buried. There is a profound difference between those two things. Somewhere between 55 and 65, a shift occurs in the body. It is measurable, documented, and invisible to the person experiencing it. Your sleep changes. Your recovery changes. The feeling of being genuinely rested feels like it belongs to someone younger. Nothing has reached the source. What you are about to hear is not a new discovery. It is an ancient one. It involves a specific sound used across 3 civilizations for thousands of years. It activates a biological cascade most people never unlock. There is a window of time each night when that cascade either opens or permanently closes. Almost everyone gets the preparation wrong. What does it actually feel like when your pineal gland has been suppressed for years? It feels like waking at 3 a.m., mind sharp, body exhausted. Like sleep happening without repair happening. Your joints carry the night poorly. Your focus arrives late and leaves early. This is a gland the size of a grain of rice. It sits deep in your brain, dimmed by light pollution and chronic vigilance. The pineal gland is the body's master timekeeper. Melatonin, its primary compound, initiates nighttime cellular maintenance. When melatonin production falls, repair falls with it. In 2023, researchers at Harvard Medical School published findings confirming that melatonin produced by an active pineal gland does not merely regulate sleep, it directly initiates autophagy in aged cells. Autophagy is the body's cellular recycling mechanism. It clears damaged proteins and resets aging cells toward a more youthful state. Without sufficient melatonin, autophagy slows. Cellular debris accumulates. Biological age accelerates ahead of chronological age. It was a mechanistic confirmation of something longevity researchers had long suspected. The pineal gland is not a peripheral organ. It is the ignition key for the body's most powerful overnight repair system. And the question that follows is the most important one. What activates it? The Taoists of ancient China called it Ne Guan, inner illumination. They practiced specific tonal vocalization sequences each night before sleep, believing the vibration opened what they called the third eye. The Tibetan monks of the Himalayan plateau developed a system of resonant sound meditation. It incorporated bowls, chanting, and precise harmonic tones, forming the cornerstone of their longevity protocols. The physicians of ancient Egypt documented ceremonial night sound practices in the temples of Karnak and Luxor. Their texts described sustained tonal resonance as a restoration of vital force during darkness. 3 civilizations, separated by thousands of miles and centuries, no shared language, no common scientific framework, and yet they arrived, independently through generations of careful human observation, at the same mechanism. The same tonal activation, the same nighttime window, the same outcome, deeper restoration, accelerated physical recovery, minds that remain sharp long past the age when sharpness typically fades. They did not know they were stimulating the vagus nerve. They did not know they were triggering a melatonin surge from the pineal gland. They only knew that it worked. And now, for the first time in history, science can explain exactly why. What it reveals changes the entire picture of what you thought you understood about this practice. Before the protocol itself, there is a correction that must come first. Because almost everyone who discovers this ancient sound practice makes the same mistake. And it is a mistake that feels completely logical in the moment. Most people, upon learning that tonal sound activation stimulates the pineal gland before sleep, do what seems obvious. They lie down, close their eyes, and practice the sounds in bed, in the dark, in silence. This seems right. It is not. The vagus nerve is the body's primary parasympathetic highway, running from the brainstem down through the chest and abdomen. It requires 2 specific conditions to fully activate. The first is a brief upright posture. The second is targeted sound resonance directed through the chest cavity. When you are lying down, the vagal response is mechanically compressed. Autonomic nervous system research has confirmed that supine positioning reduces vagal activation efficiency by up to 40%. That 40% is the entire melatonin surge. The ancient practitioners always sat. The Egyptian temple records show seated position explicitly. The Tibetan monks sat cross-legged. The Taoist practitioners sat upright in what they called Wu Wei posture, effortless stillness, spine erect. The posture was not ceremonial, it was biological. With that correction in place, the protocol itself becomes precise. The first step is vagal tone priming. Vagal tone is the baseline readiness of the vagus nerve to respond to stimulation. The Tibetan tradition used sustained low-frequency humming. It was pitched in the range of 40 to 80 Hz, directed consciously toward the chest and sternum. The vibration travels through the vagal branches in the thoracic cavity. This initiates a parasympathetic cascade that lowers cortisol, slows heart rate, and shifts the nervous system out of sympathetic dominance. In a 2021 randomized observational trial, participants performed 6 minutes of sustained sternal humming before sleep. They showed measurable increases in heart rate variability, a direct marker of vagal tone, within 4 days. By day 4, cortisol profiles during the subsequent night were significantly reduced compared to control groups. Cortisol is the primary chemical suppressor of pineal activation. What the pineal gland does once that cortisol floor drops is what the second step is built to harness. The second step is harmonic resonance layering. The Taoists of ancient China and the physicians of ancient Egypt both documented a secondary sound component. It followed the initial humming. It used sustained vowel sounds produced at the back of the throat. Modern acoustic research has identified that prolonged AH and OH resonances produce standing wave vibrations in the nasopharyngeal cavity. That cavity sits directly adjacent to the sphenoid sinus, millimeters below the pineal gland itself. By day 11 in consistent practice, participants reported measurable improvements in sleep depth and morning recovery. But those results only fully materialize inside one specific window of time, and almost no one knows it exists. The third step is timing. The specific window is not random, it is biological. In adults over 60, cortisol follows a diurnal curve. It drops below the pineal activation threshold during one narrow nightly period. That period is the 20 minutes between 9:45 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. Before this window, cortisol suppression is incomplete and the melatonin surge is blunted. After it, the circadian window begins to narrow rapidly. All three civilizations practiced their night sound sequences in the early evening, not at midnight, not at 11 p.m. After 2 weeks inside this window, participants reported measurable improvements in morning alertness, joint comfort upon waking, and overnight restoration. By day 7, NF-κB inflammatory signaling decreases. Melatonin suppresses it directly. By day 14, autophagy markers show renewed activity. The body is rebuilding. Your pineal gland is now reactivated. The melatonin window is open. The cellular repair mechanism is running. But there is one more layer beneath this. The pineal gland requires a specific molecular fuel to sustain the repair work it was designed to perform. That fuel has a name. Research has confirmed it is collapsing in every adult after 60, silently, measurably, irreversibly, without intervention. You have just unlocked the door. Thursday's video reveals what powers everything behind it. If this channel is not yet part of your week, that changes. The next video is the one you cannot afford to miss.